What's up everyone, my name is Keith and I'm a cinematographer from Somerset, England. So Tilta invited me and a bunch of fellow creators to go to the northern part of Wales to test out their brand new Hydra Alien Pro car mount. So within all of my career, I've never actually used any car mount systems before. So I was so glad that Tilta invited me and a bunch of friends along to be able to test this thing out. I'm going to take you through all 3 days and I'm going to give you my initial thoughts on the brand new system. So day 1, we headed down to Blackrock Sands Beach. Tilta managed to get a permit for us to go down there and film. So we headed down there just before sunrise, as the initial shots that we wanted to get was the sun coming up from over the mountains and to be able to test the arm while on the beach. We were lucky enough to have Cupra sponsor 2 brand new cars for us to test this system on. Now I've never set up a car mount in my entire life. So we had Jack and Joel from Tilta who were trained in this to be able to set the whole system up on both of the cars. We had Sergio doing drone work, we had Stan doing photography, I had Dan with me doing some BTS, we had Andre driving one car, and then we had Nico driving another car. Mainly, I wanted to be inside the car, I wanted to be controlling the zoom and the focus of the car mount system and just testing it out myself because I've never personally done that before. Now originally we were going to put the FX6 as the car mount, but we were missing a few pieces and it just really wasn't working and it was taking too much time. In the end, for the actual car mount, we ended up using the Sony FX30 and the ZV-E1 as our main car mount systems, and over the days we did end up using the Pixus as well. So all the gear we used when we were inside the car was Atomus's Shogun 7-inch for the director's monitor. We then paired it with Tilta's cage for that monitor, and then we just rigged out the cage basically. So we used Tilta's Nucleus Nano 2 for the focus. Then we attached Tilta's control handles, which allowed us to control the zoom and the direction of the camera. We then finally used Hollyland's Pyro S transmission system, one attached to the camera, one attached to the monitor, so we could actually see what the camera was seeing. To be able to communicate between myself and the drivers and anybody else that wanted to listen in, we used Hollyland's Solicom SE headset. Now these were an absolute game changer for us. It was the first time I've ever used anything like that as well, and to be able to communicate with the driver, to tell them to slow down, speed up, move left, move right, actually worked an absolute treat. The payload of the Alien Pro is 4 to 13 kilograms and is rated up to 75 miles per hour. This gave us a lot of versatility when filming, as we could confidently swap rigs quickly and know that the arm would still hold up with whatever we threw at it. This is one of the only monetized car-mounted arms on the market, which means it's easier to fine-tune and you can wirelessly change the tension on the head. We chose to use DJI's RS3 gimbal, but it's also completely compatible with other gimbals like the Ronin 2, Ronin M, 4D and Movi Pro. We did 2 different setups during the trip, one mounted onto a 50mm speed rail and one using the dovetail-like plates with electronic suction cups, and both systems held up really well. Once everything was set up and we know exactly what we were doing, we then just basically went out and had a bit of fun. We had a few hiccups at the very start with the arm not working to how we wanted it to and having a little bit of shaky footage, plus on a bit of the bumpy beach. But after we played around with it a little bit more and sorted some of the stuff out, we managed to get some really nice footage from it. After we had our fun on the beach, Dan suggested that we head north to go more into the mountains to test out the system on a road in a real world environment. It was about an extra hour and a half from where we were at the beach, but by the time we got there, unfortunately, it took so long for us to get everything sorted again that it actually started to get quite dark, and then it started to rain. So we set off and tried to do a little bit of filming, but the rain was too heavy that we ended up pulling into the side of the road, packing everything down, and deciding to come back to this place tomorrow. Okay, so day 2, we woke up super early and Jack and Joel were outside setting up one of the cars with one of the arms. The setup we used for this day was Sony ZV-E1 and we paired it with DZO Films' new ARL Prime lens, the 24mm. On our way up, we ended up spotting this really nice bridge with this National Trust place. We ended up going in there and filming a whole bunch of hero shots for Cupra and for Tilta. We then carried north, and there were so many scenic places and scenic routes that we just had to keep stopping so we could get some really nice shots of the arm and the cars. Tilta then brought in a drone guy with an Inspire 3 and some other drones and managed to get these really nice shots of the mountains and of the cars. Halfway through the day, we stopped off for lunch in a restaurant, and we decided that we would take off the Sony ZV-E1 and replace it with Blackmagic's Pixus, and then we paired it with a Blazer. One of my favourite shots and my favourite moments of that day was coming round the corner and we'd just seen all of these low-lying clouds like through the mountains, and it just looked so beautiful and so scenic. So what we ended up doing was actually pulling over, setting everything up and turning the cars around to be able to drive back the way we came with this scene in the background. Our final destination of the day was Llynogwyn. Now, for me, it looks absolutely beautiful. And there's this one mountain, like completely like in the middle, and we just used that as the backdrop. Now, the sun was going down and the moon was coming up, and we managed to just get a few hero shots of Andre getting out of the car and just filming a bit more of the car than the arm at the time, with having like the moon in the background and the sort of pinky purpleness in the sky as well. Once we'd finished all the hero shots, we then made sure all the car rig was set up and ready to go, as we wanted to then test it out and get some night shots. Day 3, we ended up going back to the beach. Now this time it wasn't really sunny and it was quite overcast, and we didn't really use much of the arm for this. What we decided to do is capture a few more shots for Cupra and their car, and I ended up going handheld with the Sony FX6, just so I could get in there a little bit more, capture some of the sand coming up. I actually ended up getting completely drenched when the car was going through the water, and it actually ended up ruining one of my V-mount batteries on the back of the FX6, but everything else was completely fine. We then caught a few drone shots and some other shots of it coming out of the cave and just around that area. What I really wanted to do on this day was use Hydra's articulating car mounting system. I wanted to attach it to the front of the Cupra car and be able to film Andre while he was driving. It was just a little bit of a test. Again, I'd never done this type of shot before, so I just grabbed the FX6, put on one of DZO's 35mm ARL lenses, and we just mounted everything up, shot it at Andre. I put one of Nanlight's small 6E Pavo tubes in the top of the car just to light his face a little bit more, and just got him to drive around the beach. And I just wanted to show a different way of using some of Tilta's products to be able to grab the shot that we wanted to do. Overall, the trip itself was absolutely fantastic. Not only did I get to test out Tilta's new products and to be able to do something that I've never done before, but to be able to hang around with other creatives as well always drives me to do better and to do more and just have a lot of fun while doing it. So if you are looking to get into filming cars, I would strongly suggest Tilta's Hydra Alien Pro arm, and I'm looking forward to testing it out in some different scenarios. Tilta have just released a brand new website, so if you would like to check out the arm, head over to their website. You can see all the specs and all the stats on there, and that's where you'll be able to purchase one. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.